Okay, ingredients and what you'll need to make my cheesecake. You'll need a food processor or something similar to chop up the biscuits. If you haven't got that, you can use a rolling pin. You'll need some digestive biscuits. I usually use about 10 out of a packet. Doesn't matter what type you use, but watch out for the lower fat ones because they've often got more sugar in them. You'll need a little bit of butter, somewhere around it. I'll put the measurements up, the quantities up in a bit. Some sugar-free jelly, crystals. I use Philadelphia lightest cream cheese. You can either use some crème fraiche or some low-fat Greek yogurt or normal yogurt you could use, in fact. And for this one I am using some tinned mandarins in their own juice, and you'll need a dish to make it in, etc. I use one that's actually got a loose bottom to it, which makes it actually easier to get it out of the tin when it's set, etc. So that's the ingredients. So the first thing we do is sort out the base, which is made with just the butter and the digestive biscuits. So I'll get on with that and come back to you in a minute. Okay, I whizzed up the biscuits until they're all crumbs, quite fine crumbs. The butter I actually melted in the microwave. It took me just over 30 seconds, I suppose, to melt it. I don't want it boiling hot, I just wanted it melted. So you just pour it into the breadcrumbs. I was always brought up to use a scraper, waste not, want not. Then just give it a quick blitz to mix it up. Only a quick blitz, and then that's all ready to be tipped into the baking tray. So we've had all the banging and crashing. Just tip it in. Once again, using the scraper. And spread it evenly over the base and firm it down. Be fairly careful that you firm down the edges of the tin, because if it's a loose tin you don't want any of the jelly type mix. Oops, the tin's not quite down. It's better. Don't want any of the jelly type mix escaping down the sides. So just work it round until you've got a nice solidy base. That's it. Sometimes I'll use the bottom of a cup or whatever's to hand. Firm larger areas. Okay. Then you just put that base somewhere cool in the fridge, or just somewhere cold to harden up a bit. And I'll come back to you in a minute. Okay, as I'm using orange for the flavouring of this particular cheesecake, I've got a whole small tin of mandarin segments, etc. in their own juice. So you need to drain off the juice. Leave the oranges to get as dry as possible, because you're going to use the juice to dissolve the jelly crystals. So I have to get another bowl. Okay, so what I usually do is I heat up in the microwave about half, sorry, can't see, about half of that quantity. And that's what I dissolve the crystals in. And then I add the colder liquid back to the hotter liquid, because you're going to add it to the cold crème fraiche and the soft cheese, so the Philadelphia cheese. So you don't want to be adding anything too warm, and that helps cool it down. So I'll come back to you in a minute when I've done that. Okay, I've mixed up the jelly and it's dissolved and has cooled a bit. I use 2 packets of jelly because I like my cheesecake to be fairly firm, or at least needs to be cuttable. Okay, so we're now going to put the whole tub of filling into the food processor. Yeah, what a mess. On top of crème fraiche, or as I say, if you've only got yoghurt, use yoghurt. Get my faithful spatula ready. Right, dip in the jelly, which has cooled quite a bit. It's only sort of lukewarm now. Don't want to get too cold or else it'll set. Or it'll set as you're adding it to the creamy mix. It looks quite messy at this stage. But hey, I'm not experienced in this. Puts it all up. Usually you've got some bits of cream cheese or something around the outside, so give it a bit of a stir. Make sure it's well mixed. And then you're ready to simply pour that on top of the base that you've already made. I'll come back to you in a minute. Okay, so I'm simply ready now to just pour the mixture onto the base. Okay, we're now ready. Once it's all level, just decorate with the mandarin segments. cut some of this, as I'm sure you know how to place a few mandarin segments. That's it. And one for the cook. And you simply put it in the fridge and leave it to completely set. And because it's in a removable base, you should be able to slide it out and put it on a plate. You'll probably have to leave it on the base, but I'll show you when it's set, etc. what a slice looks like. And this is the finished cheesecake taken out of the pan. I usually reckon that it serves 12. It's the pan that I made it in was a 20 centimetre, which I believe is a 12-inch diameter one. So, and I sorted it all out on my Fitness Pal, and it works out at 168 calories per portion. Hope that helps.